Imagine a world where almost anything you want can be ordered with just a few clicks. Millions of products arrive at your doorstep within days, or sometimes even hours. Today, online shopping feels completely normal. But there was a time when buying something through the internet seemed strange, risky, and even impossible. To many people, one man believed that the internet was about to transform the way the world did business.
His name was Jeff Bezos. He walked away from a successful career, took a huge risk, and started a small online bookstore.
That small idea eventually became Amazon, one of the most powerful companies in the world. This is the story of how it all began.
The early years. Jeff Bezos was born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Even as a child, Bezos was naturally curious. He loved understanding how things worked, solving problems, and creating new ideas. His curiosity wasn't limited to books or school. He enjoyed experimenting and building things. His grandfather also had a major influence on him. Through his grandfather, Bezos learned important lessons about independence, persistence, and taking responsibility for his own decisions. As he grew older, Bezos became increasingly interested in science, technology, and business. After graduating from Princeton University, he entered the world of finance and technology. He built a successful career on Wall Street and had a promising future ahead of him. But then he discovered something that made him question everything. Chapter 2. In the early 1990s, the internet was beginning to grow rapidly. Bezos noticed that internet usage was increasing at an extraordinary rate. While many people were still trying to understand what the internet could become, Bezos was already thinking about its potential. He began asking a simple but powerful question: what could people buy online? He researched different products and eventually focused on books. Why books? Because there were millions of titles available around the world, far more than any physical bookstore could possibly stock. An online store could offer customers an enormous selection without needing a massive physical shop. But turning that idea into reality required a huge sacrifice. Bezos had a comfortable job and a secure career. Leaving it behind was a major risk. In 1994, he decided to take that risk. He left his Wall Street career and chose to pursue his idea. Some people around him believed he was making a terrible mistake, but Bezos had a different way of looking at failure. He believed that years later, the bigger regret would be wondering what might have happened if he had never tried. So he took the leap. Chapter 3. The birth of Amazon. In 1994, Bezos moved to Seattle and began building his new company. The business started from a modest garage and a small team of people who believed in the idea. The company was called Amazon. At this point, there was nothing about Amazon that looked like the global giant we know today. It was simply an online bookstore trying to convince people that shopping on the internet could actually work. The challenges were enormous. The company had limited resources. Online shopping was still unfamiliar to most consumers, and many people questioned whether customers would ever feel comfortable entering their information and purchasing products online. But Bezos remained focused on one principle: put the customer first. Amazon worked to provide a huge selection, simple shopping, and reliable service. In 1995, Amazon officially launched. The first orders were handled by a small team, with packages being prepared manually. Every order mattered. Every customer was proof that the idea could work, and slowly Amazon began attracting more attention. Chapter 4. From books to everything. Amazon's growth began changing the company's ambitions. Bezos realized that Amazon didn't have to remain a bookstore. It could become something much bigger. The company began expanding into electronics, clothing, household products, entertainment, and countless other categories. The vision was enormous: create a store where customers could find almost anything they needed. But achieving that vision required years of investment. Amazon poured money into warehouses, technology, delivery infrastructure, and customer service. The company wasn't always focused on making immediate profits. That worried some investors. Critics questioned whether Amazon's strategy would ever pay off. But Bezos was thinking much further into the future. He wasn't trying to build a successful company for just a few years. He wanted to build a company that could keep growing for decades. That long-term mindset became one of Amazon's defining characteristics. Chapter 5, Amazon becomes a technology giant. Amazon didn't just transform shopping. It also became a major force in technology. The launch of Amazon Prime changed customers' expectations about delivery and online services. Faster shipping made online shopping even more convenient and encouraged customers to return to Amazon again and again. But Amazon's biggest transformation wasn't happening only in warehouses. It was happening behind computer screens. Amazon Web Services, or AWS, became a major cloud computing platform. Businesses, websites, startups, and applications around the world began relying on Amazon's technology infrastructure. The company that had started by selling books was now providing technology that powered businesses across the internet. Amazon was no longer simply an online retailer, it had become a technology powerhouse. Chapter 6, Building a Global Empire. As Amazon continued growing, its reach expanded around the world. Millions of customers began using the platform for everyday purchases. Amazon built enormous fulfillment centers and developed increasingly advanced logistics systems to move products faster and more efficiently. Robotics, automation, and artificial intelligence became important parts of its operations. The goal was simple: get the right product to the right customer as quickly as possible. Amazon eventually became more than a website. For millions of people, it became part of everyday life. But Bezos's ambitions didn't stop with e-commerce and technology. He also turned his attention towards space exploration through Blue Origin. Once again, the goal was to think beyond the present and work toward what the future might look like. Chapter 7, The Lessons Behind Amazon's Success. Jeff Bezos' journey offers several important lessons. The first is simple: think bigger than your starting point. Amazon began as a small online bookstore, but Bezos' vision was much larger from the beginning. The second lesson is failure and criticism are part of the journey. Amazon faced doubt, criticism, financial pressure, and countless challenges, but Bezos continued moving forward. And the third lesson may be the most important: think long term. Instead of focusing only on immediate results, Bezos concentrated on building systems, technology, and customer loyalty that could create value over many years. His philosophy can be summed up in a few ideas: keep improving, keep experimenting, keep thinking about the future, and never stop focusing on the customer. Ending today, Amazon is one of the most influential companies in the world, but its story didn't begin inside a giant corporate headquarters. It didn't begin with billions of dollars. It began with one person, one idea, and the courage to take a massive risk. A small garage became the starting point of a global empire. A simple online bookstore became a company that transformed shopping and technology. And Jeff Bezos' journey reminds us that extraordinary achievements don't always begin with extraordinary circumstances. Sometimes they begin with a simple idea, a willingness to take a risk, and the determination to keep building when nobody knows how the story will end. This was the rise of Amazon.